the antisocial network.
Yeah. Mask up, stay 6 feet apart.
Yeah, right. All right. We are back with another episode of This one is episode 234. So we're getting 250,000 is right there in our grasp. I think we're going to reach it by the end of this month because we're booked up. We're booked to the hilt this month.
Well, 250 episodes. Would that be 250,000?
250,000.
250,000.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, but we have a third timer here. I think John might be, if he's not the only third time guest, he's among the elite.
Yeah,
so we need
probably the only primary guest 3 times.
Wow.
Honored.
Will Cooper.
Yeah. Well, we need to get a jacket or something.
There's actually 2.
Yeah,
like the Masters.
Club.
Right.
Okay.
But
blue is my favorite color.
All right.
Okay. I was wondering about that because you have the green for the Masters, and I think it's purple or something for SNL. So we'll go with the blue maybe. But that's a testament.
You and I both have blue eyes. I don't know, Aaron. What color are your eyes?
They are brown.
Oh, okay.
It's a testament to John's, his station and around here. He's a honored guest. It's John Wayne S. III has a new film, and we're going to talk about it today. So welcome, John.
Thank you for having me. As always, I'm always humbled when people allow me on their platform. So thank you so much.
We're just grateful you're willing to talk to us still.
It's all a little Easter egg.
Hey, I always have fun. It's always something. I love it. It's always fun. I love it.
Easter egg at the end of Hard Holiday. So you're moonlighting as a unemployment supervisor or something?
Yeah. You know what? A lot of people saw that. That is the weirdest thing in the world. People pointing that out. I was like, wow, people actually looked and saw that.
Hey, we pay attention.
Yeah, I saw the S and the 3 and I saw the signature first. And then I rewound it and read, and it had your whole name there.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't know. It's one of those little things. When I wrote the letter and gave it to the prop person, I didn't really think too much about it. So, yeah,
that's pretty cool. I want to say, because I watched the credits, I had to manually click to watch the credits. I caught the extra scene.
Oh, did you?
Tubi was going to send me on to something else. So I don't know if you want to talk to Mr. Tubi about that, but Phil and Lisa,
so I have to somebody else has sent it to me, so we have to
we watched the movie and then we had something else we had to do, so we did not watch the credits.
Did not go back
and
to
had a chance to rewatch.
Yeah.
Although Philip did rewatch parts of the movie.
Yeah, had to refresh my mind because unfortunately we had a number of delays in getting this one done. So we'd watched the movie quite a while ago. But yeah, Aaron, you told me about the cuts or the scene, the post film scene, but I never did go back and look at it. But we can go ahead and do that.
It was a cool little Easter egg too. So it was a double Easter egg there.
Right.
Dun, dun, dun.
Yeah, right. So let me go ahead. John has given us permission to play the trailer. Let me go ahead and play that to kind of set the tone, and then we'll come back and talk about Hard Holiday.
Wow. How'd you lose your job a month before Christmas?
Hearts gone cold, footsteps swallowed by the snow.
I knew I saw you coming home earlier.
What was that all about?
Troy's been all over me lately.
Predators can smell low self-esteem and desperation a mile away.
I'm an investigator with the Department of Child Protective Services. This is the officer that is here to place you under arrest for assault and suspicion of child abuse.
Honestly, Dr. Mike, there's nothing wrong with me.
That's what everyone who tests positive for cocaine says. How do you accept your part, whether good or bad, in LaDonne's life?
You ought to be thankful that I even decided to keep you.
Blinded by the light in your eyes. Oh my, my, my. Oh my, my, my.
I heard you coming all the way up the stairs.
Yeah, I used to be in a girl group with my ex-best friend Tasha. But drugs, jealousy, and bad choices led me here.
You need to focus on what you need to do to move your life forward. Don't disturb that man's peace with your confusion.
I don't wanna miss out on the holiday.
Cool.
All right.
So
There you
my
are.
last job for about 9 months was at the Hallmark Channel. And I really didn't have quite the idea of how Christmas focused all of their content seems to be. But this seems to slot perfectly into their lineup.
Mm-hmm. You talking about Hallmark and Christmas movies?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's their benchmark. I mean, that is how
That's their
they
thing.
really
Yeah.
stay afloat as Christmas movies.
Right. Right. I remember back when I had cable many moons ago, I would go past the Hallmark Channel, and it might be July, and then be a Christmas
Oh
movie
yeah, they
playing.
did a big Christmas in July.
Well, especially in
as
July. Yeah, they have a big Christmas in July thing.
advertisement. Yeah.
Well, yeah. Okay.
So that's like 2 whole months of the year minimum.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
really, from Thanksgiving to New Year's, it's pretty much Christmas style movies,
And then reruns of Dr. Quinn, Medicine Woman, I think.
among other things.
Right,
Yes.
And Lonesome Dove too.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
Some dove.
and
It's like
and
once a week. It's a
what's it called?
multi-day event.
I don't know. Oh, Highway to Heaven.
Highway to Heaven.
I
Yeah.
would be.
That's
yeah, I
the
wouldn't
Michael
be
Landon
surprised
thing.
if that's on there.
Yes.
I haven't seen that for a while. Yeah, Michael Landon and then Roma Downey. Mhm.
So we should give credit where it's due here. Talking about Gloria Prince in the role of LaDonne Franklin. Is that correct pronunciation?
Yes, that is correct.
Hazel T, played by Regina Hearn. And there's the infamous Shorty, played by Andrew Chandler. Took on quite a bit of weight in that role, as he was the big bad. So, and of course we have the director here, and John. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Hard Holiday, John?
Okay. Hard Holiday, I would say it's a non-traditional Christmas movie. It's, everybody has dreams and things that they want to do in their life, and sometimes they just don't work out. That doesn't mean you stop living. That doesn't mean if you fade away into reality, you still go on with your life. In this particular instance, LaDonne Franklin wanted to be a successful singer. She had those things, but she decides to get succumbed by drugs and alcohol and other things, and those dreams didn't come true. In spite of that, she had 2 young girls that she's raising now, and between work and just life, she's gotten busy. But a few months before Christmas, she loses her job, which has been her really distractions. She really hadn't been dealing with her addiction, but the job was a distraction. And so now that she doesn't have a job, she's being distracted again by the drugs and the alcohol. And so she goes through the process of trying to get herself clean, getting her life clean, and just kind of like having some reveals about yourself, that moments where you got to kind of like sit in your own self. And in that process, she realizes that she needs to be there for her daughters and for herself, and ultimately go back to singing, in spite of not being a famous singer, but at least open that door to sing again. And also open her heart up to love, because that's always the hardest thing. People beat themselves up so much that they won't allow themselves to do certain things. And so it's really about having a hard holiday. And I think it resonates where we are now, because people are having hard holidays, the economy and so many different things that you shouldn't give up. You got to stay focused. And in her case, all the things that was kind of go along at the end, it kind of like all went her way because she stayed focused and always determined, as I say all the time. So I think that it resonates with people to really think about where they are in their life and not to give up and just to keep moving forward.
Right on.
Yeah. I kind of like the way her character evolves, because I think we all it goes through our mind what would happen if I came into work one day and I found out I was laid off. And she was obviously a strong character, and she lashed out. She was very upset, very indignant about it, didn't understand it.
Which caused her
and
problems
which is
later, there were ramifications from that lashing out.
Right. But yeah, she kind of evolved. Then she goes home. She realized, well, I got these 2 kids. I'm not going to get my unemployment on time.
No, she didn't know that.
Well, she eventually found that out.
But, yeah.
But anyway,
that's the ramification.
There's like a slow. It's a very good storytelling. The way that she built up this transition that she goes through.
The layers that brought to her downfall. Right. And it's like, people who aren't recovered alcoholics and or drug users, as a person who's never had that as an issue, I didn't get that she really did need the treatment that she got for her whole life, and not just for the backslide that occurred. Because I thought, oh, she just did it once, she threw it away. Why does she need to be in a unit, so to speak? But I really do feel like that unit that provided the therapy and the intensive treatment that it did really, really was needed.
The therapists kind of needed her for their own therapy too in the end.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Making everybody accountable, because while you're so, trying to help other people, sometimes your own life kind of gets in shambles. And so we all need to be accountable to each other, which allows you to be accountable for other people, So you're definitely right. I think that a lot of with her, especially when they go to talk to the therapist and they kind of talk her backstory, what happened before, it kind of puts in perspective. So you're right, Lisa. It wasn't just like, oh, she had a relapse. It's like, oh, you got some problems that you are hiding behind that you really need to sit down and think about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, I know, like it's in the trailer where her mother says, "You should be grateful that I even had you." Mm. And I had that moment growing up. My mother confessed to me when I was a teenager that she had an appointment to have an abortion with me, and she chose not to do it. Mm. So instead, she ran away to California.
Yeah.
Then she got afraid in California and ended up coming home, and that's when she finally agreed to marry my father. Mm. At around the same time, my father confessed that he actually cut a hole in the condom.
Mm. Oh my God, yeah.
Wow.
Because he wanted my mother to marry him, and she wasn't going to do that.
Confessional
without
time,
a really good reason.
Yeah.
Mm. That was, you know what? That means you have purpose.
Yes, I was wanted.
Yeah.
But I was also an accident.
Yeah.
So I'm a wanted accident.
Yeah.
My mom once said if she had it to do over again, she wouldn't have kids. So.
Mm. Lovely.
Kind of the same.
Thing,
yeah, that's right up there with really, Mom. Thanks.
That sounds like that must have been a really good Thanksgiving meal conversation. What sounds like.
Probably no, it wasn't Thanksgiving.
No, okay.
We had family conversations at times other than holidays.
No, her family is very, very candid with one another. It's kind of jolting
communicative
or jarring when I first started seeing Lisa, but it's the slow creep in the movie. It's like you could understand, at first when the alcohol was introduced, it was like, well, I can understand that. She's going to relax and have a drink or whatever. But it was symptomatic of a larger issue that built throughout the film. And you start learning things about her, about the fact that she had been a singer. And these guys are just hanging around in front of her house. I was like, that would drive me insane to have these guys out in the driveway playing craps every time you go out to take out the trash or something.
Playing craps or selling drugs in front of her house.
Selling,
Well, yeah,
selling
but
drugs.
they were selling drugs, but they were also just hanging out,
Yeah.
playing craps, harassing people that
Yeah,
walked up the street.
They were kind of Jay and Silent bobbing it. Yeah.
And why were they hanging in front of her house? The reason why is because their boss had the hots for her. Why wasn't he directly in front of his mother's house, which was right there, instead of in front of her house? Because he wanted some.
That's right. You are absolutely correct. I think a lot of times with things like that in life, they're on our face, but we're distracted by a whole bunch of other things. It's almost kind of sitting right outside of our purview. It's like, okay, I see it there, but I'm focused on some other stuff and I ignore it. And then once, whatever the main thing that's distracting you, now you see it, and it's like now you have to respond to it, you know. And I think that his character, you're right, he wanted to get with her. They got together back in the day, but she was on the underfloor drugs. She was trying to, it's like a constant reminder every time you go outside, every time you drive away, it's like this other life that you just can't get away from. And until you deal with it directly, it's going to constantly be there. So it's like constantly in her face all the time. And then now her daughters see it. It's like, how do I keep this from my kids and from myself? It's almost impossible until you deal with it.
Shorty was pretty creepy toward the daughters too. You ladies are looking lovely today, or something like that. I'm like, geez. They're like,
What is it? The thing with the daughters. What was it? She darn it. Okay, Aaron distracted me with the shorty got creepy towards the daughters.
Spraying them with water.
He wouldn't let them look out the window.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. She wouldn't let them look out the window. As far as the spraying them with water thing, my mother did buckets.
Buckets.
I mean,
she did dice bucket challenge.
I was born in 1968, or 66.
Who washed all the sheets and stuff?
Well, my mother.
Every day.
She was a stay-at-home mom. Not every day, but like my older brother had a lot of trouble waking up. And I mean, you know, she graduated to a bucket from a cup. It wasn't a big bucket. It was like a 5-gallon bucket. But it was like I guess maybe it was more like a half-gallon,
like a mop bucket?
Like a kind of, smaller than that. More of a, like the Tupperware thing that we all had for cake mix.
Okay.
You mean to wake you up in the morning?
To wake Brad up in the morning, yes.
My God, that would send me into cardiac arrest or something. I think that happened. I remember the old party house on Madison.
Yeah.
I think that happened to me one time there, and I almost had a heart attack then when that dude.
Yeah.
Somebody do a bucket.
Yeah, my older brother was famous.
Yeah. It was a hangout. It was like Aaron and our friend Ken and Mooney had an apartment. It was like a hangout spot.
Our senior year of high school.
Yeah, it was just like a party house. And I was over there one weekend, and I passed out or just slept there in a chair or something. And the dude thought it'd be funny just to pour a big cup of water on me while I was asleep.
Well, you guys were doing the ice bucket challenge before it was the ice bucket.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think she graduated to actual ice water. She would have. Don't get me wrong. I mean, she got creative with her punishments, disciplines, assists, whatever you want to call them.
At least she never got the waterboarding, you know.
Yeah.
At least we had that. But the character of Shorty, that was quite a. I mean, he did a good job, and that he really did. He was an antagonizer. I mean, to the audience.
He carried off caring but menacing into one package, and I thought that was a really good job. And it got to the point where you didn't think he would be mean to her, but then he pulled all that crap, reporting her for assault and having her, calling CPS on her.
I guess that was in the trailer.
And it could only have been him.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't in the trailer. Spoiler alert.
It was.
But he gets a lot of that, like that character acting from when he was in Ebony Hustle. It's kind of the same type of character of coming across to everybody else as being really nice, but then when you really get to the nuts and bolts of who he was, it was like very controlling and I'm, you're going to do what I need for you to do. So it's all manipulation. I'm manipulating you to go and do certain things in hopes that you're going to want to do the things that I want you to do. Because in his mind, they had already done these things already. So there's no reason why
they can't do it again.
And so she's like, I can't do that because I did it under the influence, but now I'm not. So I don't want to do that. And he just couldn't let that go. He just knew that, she liked it because she liked me. And he's like, no, it was the drugs. And he couldn't accept that.
Right. Mm-hmm. Like he willingly
and
he crossed that line. And, you have a woman and a mother with children who's struggling and you're sympathetic towards her. So he really, that was powerful. He really was villainous in this movie.
And I mean, for me, it's not so much that she couldn't be with Shorty because he was a drug dealer, but more like because she was more likely to end up in the drugs influence. Because when you come right down to it, he doesn't believe he can get a woman without the drugs.
Yeah.
When you come right down to it, that man doesn't think he can do better than a drugged out hoe.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
And that was Andrew Chandler.
And he needs to get better before he can add a decent woman. Like he thinks he wants this decent woman, but then he corrupts her. Yeah. To make her worthy or to make himself worthy of her.
Yeah. There's a lot of that around. There's a lot of those type of relationships where people are really manipulated in relationships. And people, the thing I always think about relationships, the reason why a lot of times people I feel stay in bad relationships is because nobody wants to believe that they made a mistake of their judgment. And so they're like, no, they're going to get better. They're going to change because I couldn't have possibly made this bad choice. That's impossible, and so they stay into it, and so in his mind is that, well, she liked me, so I know I just need to say the magic word and she's going to be right. We're going to be right back to where we was,
Sadly, the magic word was cocaine.
Yeah. And if she hadn't got something wouldn't happen and keep her from deciding she didn't want to do it anymore, eventually it may have gotten back to what it was before.
Exactly, which was where she really did need that intervention almost immediately.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well, it was Dr. Mike. I liked his character. Is the actor kind of like that, or is that just good writing?
Brad Roberts is pretty mellow. The one thing I try to, especially when it comes to actors, and especially when it came for Andrew playing Shorty, is that I want you to know, me and my writer partner, we wrote we wrote these words, and we want you to actually say them. But I want you to be in the moment, in the spirit of what it is. Take your time, deliver like you normally have a conversation, but also not so much focus on the words, but the moment that we're in. And I think with Brad is a pretty mellow type guy, and he was able to embody that character by really just kind of like being so. His personality really came out because it was his idea to wear the Santa Claus shirt and everything. That's really more of his personality, and it worked because I think something you said before we had talked before, Lisa. You was like saying that when people go through addiction and things of that sort, recovery, they meet quack doctors and stuff like that, and so it kind of really worked. His personality kind of worked out into that to make him kind of like this guy. He's telling you all this stuff, but you got all this Christmas stuff and this nautical stuff. Like, well, what is? It's too much. What's going on?
Santa the sailor.
Yeah,
Santa the sailor man.
So all that stuff kind of like goes. So his personality is pretty laid back, but I think his personality came out with the T-shirt, the Santa shirt.
Now, when you have a character in mind, do you feel you cast to that personality or to the actor?
Sometimes it depends. A lot of times I try to find people, first of all, with actors, I try to find people who I can work with, people who are going to be open to just the process of what we're trying to do. And then I try to find people who I try to give them, I look back in their body of work and I try to find things that they have not done before. And then I talk to them, and that's like, after talking to them, just having a regular conversation, I try to figure out, okay, I think that they can do this. And a lot of time actors I'll get, they'd be like, I've never done anything like this, but I'm talking to you. I feel like you have things to draw from. So I don't want people just to kind of play the same stereotypical characters they play all the time. I try to find something in them, and I feel like, okay, I think that you could do this. It's like when I did Red All Over, when I went to Atlanta and talked to Victor Love. And Victor had done all these big movies and he had done all these other stuff. And then when I told him about the character, he's like, I don't have anything that I've never played, an alcoholic with a family. I've never done that. But I'm listen to his stories about his life and everything. I was like, you can do this. You definitely can do this. So it's really about trying to find stuff that stretches people a little bit to make you want to make the role exciting. You want to make them want to do the role, and they feel like it's some kind of personal growth with them. So to answer your question, a lot of that is who Brad is as a person, but I think it's a lot to stretching him to who he outside of what he normally is.
Mm-hmm.
So it
Now,
sounds like you're taking kind of a proactive approach to casting. So I mean, you don't just you kind of reach out, you kind of look at the work that the person has done. So it's not just like an open casting call, right? I mean,
no, I don't do open cast calls. I actually go out and pick people. What I find with open cast calls for me, I just kind of like, first of all, people don't read. So if you tell them I need an old guy that's 5'7", who has a beard, they all come clean shaven. So they don't, so doing open call, you just go through so many people. I have done it in the past, and traditionally, I just really don't get. So I usually just go and look for people, either people I know, or maybe through a casting director, or just I just go through the database and just kind of look at people and say, hey, I think you could do this. Are you interested? We have a conversation there, because I feel like that's kind of more personable, and I'm just not just like grabbing at everything. It's kind of like, I'm coming to you. I think that you could do this.
Yeah.
Because I'm guessing the cattle call version of casting is hard on not just the people that are being cast, but also the castors.
Yeah, well,
got to be pretty
it's a
overwhelming.
process. It's a process. So they have to do a tape reading. So I send them, the script and say, hey, do this scene. And so it's their interpretation. I had this one character, he played a father, and in the scene, he was like drinking a beer. And when you go to casting, you don't drink beer or anything like that. And so we're in there, and I'm looking at him. He's like, okay, he looks okay. Out of nowhere, he takes out a beer and cracks it open and starts drinking it. Now, it gave authenticity to the role, because I wasn't expecting that. And at that moment when he did that, I believed he was the character, because he believed he was the character. It's not what I think you can do. Honestly, it's what they think they can.
And he read.
You feel like you can do this, because I can believe you can do something all day long, and then we get there and it's like, oh, you can't do this. But if you believe you can do it, that goes way further than whatever I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, if
And
you read the
that's
part,
where-
he knew that he's supposed to be drinking a beer. He didn't come
Yeah,
clean
in the
shaven
script
for a
it does
beer.
that, but you don't bring a beer.
No, you don't.
To audition. But the fact that he did, and you know what? I can smell the alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
And so
and
it
that
kind of
creates a memory of him as
yes.
Yeah.
So I believe at that moment I was like, wow, he actually has a beer. We were
At
all looking
that
at each other.
point, did you think of that more as method acting, or this guy might have a problem?
You can't get through an interview with him.
That's funny. I think it was more method acting. Honestly, I didn't think that he because honestly, afterwards I think about it, he's not a big drinker per se. So that was probably more method acting
for the role. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. But it worked. I said yes, and he got the role. So
you did say something. I want them to say the words, but I want them to be in the character. So, are you open to, and I believe we've discussed this before, but I'm going to ask again just for the viewers of this particular episode, are you open to ad-libs, interjections. The character. What if the actor says, "Yeah, this is the character you want me to embody," and how open are you to changing your dialogue if they say to you, "I think he would say this instead."
In other words, you go Christian Bale on somebody if they go out of the script.
No,
off the
so
script.
before that's funny, Christian Bale. Before we actually get to set and we're doing rehearsals, we go through the dialogue, and some things, just because I wrote it doesn't necessarily mean that it works good for you. And so we do all those changes beforehand. Like what, there are certain words that I can't say. Like I say "ka." I think that's more of a Midwestern Chicago thing, and I can't say it. So I say certain. So if I'm asking, they know what they can say that works better for them. So I try to work toward those things. Now, when we're shooting, my rule is this. If you say blue this time, say blue all the time. Because two things will happen. Certain actors don't necessarily, they stick to the script, whatever the script is saying. And if you don't say certain words, then it throws them off. They don't know what to say. And also, too, with the editor, we're doing this take like 2, 3, 4 times. And so if you say
continuity in editing.
You said, yeah. And so you need continuity, because if not, the editor can like, I don't know what, because they keep saying different stuff and it makes it hard. So the actor gets confused. So if we decide in rehearsal you want to change something, that's fine. If at the moment you say something slightly different, keep saying that so the actor knows where they need to come in. If not, it just kind of like, we just kind of saying stuff. So I'm not the person that we just going to do the whole ad-lib thing because, I don't know what you're doing, because there are certain things there are certain moments and points in the script or certain things you need to say for other stuff.
Yeah.
May it be product placement, may it be something later on in the story that the person needs to say. Like, for example, in Hard Holiday, when she was getting fired, the guy needed to say that the unemployment information is inside the envelope. He had to say that. Because later on, if she like, I'm doing unemployment, it would make no sense. So when she sat down, she said, "Oh yeah, the unemployment stuff is in the envelope." She goes to the envelope to get the number. He had to say that, and if he didn't say that, later on, it wouldn't have made any sense to what she was doing. So things like that. And so while we shooting, I'm like, okay, look, you can say that, but make sure you say this so it can make sense later.
How long do you typically rehearse?
You said, what'd you say?
How long, how long do you typically rehearse?
So it depends. So when I first talk to an actor, I sit down with them to figure out what I'm getting myself in. Okay. What kind of rehearsal? I need to send them to somebody, or can they, work on themselves? Once I make that determination, that determines how much we need to rehearse. Some people are better in front of the camera, and some people actually need more rehearsing. So it just really depends. I try to rehearse, depending on how many characters. I really try not to have too many characters. We do a lot of Zoom stuff, not a whole bunch of stuff in person, but a lot of Zoom interviews. But if I feel like the person needs a little bit more help and they're not as seasoned, then I do send them to a dialogue coach so they can kind of work with them, and try to be comfortable and everything, with that, because a lot of times I'm just not directing. I'm writing it, directing, and I'm producing. So sometimes my time is just not. I don't have time to kind of hold hand a little bit. I want to be there for the actor, but I honestly just don't have the time to do that. And so I'll send them to a dialogue coach, or I also encourage them to with themselves. I mean, you're going to be in a scene with the person. You need to talk with them with yourself. But
yeah, watch Boston Legal.
Oh, Boston, yeah. Yeah.
And start talking about the person that speaks the most Boston.
Yeah.
How far in advance do you cast versus shoot? Number one, and number two, do you rehearse, or do you do like a movie read through, or do you do a scene read throughs?
So I have a couple of movies coming out, and I'm probably a year out already. So I've got stuff that's already been shot that going to come out within next year, and so it's it's a it's a time thing. And so movies that I've done a year ago, I'm not even thinking about those movies because I'm moving on to the movies I'm doing in 2027. And so a lot of times the actors will call me and they'll be like, man, I talked to you a long time. I see you every day because we're editing this, so I see you every day. As far as rehearsals, we do at least twice read through of the script, either in person or on the Zoom. And so everybody gets on the Zoom, all the characters, all the department heads. It's a way for everybody to kind of see problems, either with actors or whatever thing, props. Everybody gets opportunity so we can go. The first time is like everybody's stopping, like, hey, what about that shirt? Or he got to sit in that car. We do those things. And then we do a second one where they just kind of read through the script and I can kind of see where everybody's at. And like, I can see if people actually been reading, studying their script, if they're off script. The one person who will always consistently off script when we do this is Andrew Chandler, the guy who plays Shorty. He know his lines and everybody else's lines. It amazes me. Like, dude, are you just doing this like 24 hours a day? He knows everybody's lines and he knows his lines. That's always encouraging, but there's certain who's that Michelle Lamb who played Ebony. She always knows everybody's. She knows her lines to everybody. It's like she's one of those actors that if you don't say certain things, you're gonna throw off.
Yeah.
You're gonna mess me up because you're supposed to say green and you said blue.
The whole thing, and you got.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. It's like she's one of those kind of like, this is what the scripts say. Some people are really like that. Some people are really like, I'm going to read exactly what the scripts say, even if I don't think it's good. I'm going to do that. And other people are going to be like, I don't really think the character would say this, and this, they'll do that. So it really depends. I'm pretty open. Filmmaking is a collaborative experience. I can't just do it by myself. And I'm not making movies just for me. I'm making movies for people to look at. And so I need for people to participate in the process. I need to get your feedback. I need to see what you think about that. Now, ultimately, I'm going to make the final decision about what we say and what we don't say, but I need to at least hear what you have to say so I can make an educated guess about, okay, this works better.
Right. Well, everybody on that set is to one degree or another is a creative person, and you can't suppress that. Yeah, if you really want to bring the best out of everyone,
Not to mention a word here or there, as long as it's not changing the premise.
Yes.
Yeah, that shouldn't be. There are, I know, writers and creators who are like so married to that word.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, maybe we should recast the actor if he can't say that word. And it's like,
the Coen brothers, you need to read it exactly as it's on the page. Yeah.
My writing partner, Sess, I've been writing her for over 20 years. She traditionally doesn't come to the set because she gets all bent out of shape when the actors don't say exactly.
For me, it would be as long as it means the same thing. But then I have been accused of being a walking thesaurus. So,
it goes back to what I said before. Just because I think somebody could do something doesn't mean to do it. And also, my philosophy when it comes to shooting, this is one of my biggest philosophies. The audience only knows what you show them. So if I show them this, even though they were supposed to say something else, as long as it doesn't take away from the story, it's okay. Nobody's going to come to me and say, why didn't they say blah, blah, blah? Because they don't know that. They only know what I show them. And so I try not to get so hooked up into that thing. I want you to say things that make sense to the story. But as long as it's close to where I was, I've never done anything that's exactly 100% of what I wanted to be. Every single movie, there is so many things that I wish today I'd said it did in a different way. And they just don't do that. My job is not to control everything. It's to foster the creative collaborative process.
Keep it on the.
Yes, like, okay, we move into our objectives. I can kind of get bogged down because I'm a writer, producer, and director. So the difference between this is the difference how I describe those things. The writer has a vision. He gets up one morning, he writes all these things down. He goes to the director and say, hey, do you think you could bring this vision to life? And he says, yes. Then they go to a producer and they show him their package, and the producers say, this is great, but you can't do this, and this. So they're all emotional different things. The writer has this vision that he feels like everybody should say the words the way I put them on the paper. The director wants everybody to see the vision in the bigger light. And the producer wants to stay on schedule. He wants to make sure that we get all our days in. He wants to make sure everything runs smoothly. So he has no emotional, he watches the budget. He has no emotional connection to it, the director and the writer. And so with me being 3, to me, I think it's giving me perspective about what to push and what not push, and like have a more realistic idea of what you can shoot and what you can't do. There's certain things that I would like to do as a creative, but either budget or time. A lot of times it's just time, because I try to I write the budget, but I try not to use money to solve problems. I try to be creative about how we do dialogue. There's a project that I'm working on now, and in the script, it requires them to go to this Negro League baseball game.
Cool.
That sounds really great in the script, but that means that we have to get stadium.
And you have to arrange a Negro League baseball game. Yeah.
Yes, you have to do all that stuff. And so my suggestion was let's do this. The report is already in the story. Let them just have a front of a newspaper. I can get a newspaper created, and then they talk about the game. I'm doing the same thing. They had a Negro League baseball game. Everything happened, and we're just talking about it. He's doing his point, and the audience would not be no wiser. So that's a way of
you don't have to fill up a crowd full of extras.
Yeah, they gotta have period.
CGI
it's a lot, and so when it came to me, I said I like that scene, but that's just too much. Let's just try to find a way. But it worked. And so once it was rewritten to that particular aspect, it works better instead of having to have to do all the things. If you have the budget, then more you should do that.
Cast,
that's great.
Extras, continuity, creating the jerseys so the fans can wear them too.
Yes, that's a lot.
I mean,
that's a lot. And so let's just have
the only way that would work, in my opinion, is for you to find a nostalgic Negro League baseball game and just take your cast to the game.
But the scheduling of when that is and where's that in the country.
Guerrilla filming.
Yes.
Right.
It seems like a niche thing. I mean, you're gonna have a tough time finding that.
Yes.
Today.
How do you find them? So
it would be a lot easier to just have your guests show up to observe a I don't know, like where they redo the Civil War.
Oh,
reenactment.
Yeah.
Because those are scheduled.
Yes.
Or you could guerrilla film at a con.
Well, the thing is, are you making a movie about baseball, or are you telling the story of the protagonist?
Yes.
What are you going to invest in most?
I will tell you this much. Worked at a hospital from 97 to 2020. I was in the hospital, and I have visited since then. And I will tell you this much. Just so you know, if you are ever guerrilla filming at a hospital, there are entire hallways, including hallways with patient room doors, where there is absolutely no one for 30 minutes to an hour at a time. Just nobody.
So you can do some guerrilla.
You're encouraging guerrilla filming in the hospital?
I do. I love guerrilla filming. I love the idea of it.
Well, remember that the guy we had on that did he restored the film from like 1937 Seattle or something. He did all of that. That was a lot of guerrilla filming. That film. I can't. Ed, I think his name was. Yeah. That was interesting. So that you can get yourself in trouble, I guess, but you can also get some because he was on the site of the Boeing. Boeing grounds where he was shooting scenes around airplanes and stuff like that he had no business being around. And
as long as you're careful about logos, no one's going to know what hospital it is because they're almost generic.
Yeah, they're the same. I'm not a really big fan of guerrilla filmmaking only because we do a lot of product placement and a whole bunch of other stuff, and so it makes it hard. Now, if push comes to shove, if I need to be in front of something on the public sidewalk, they can't do anything about doing that. And so if it's just push come to shove, I need them to be standing next to a gas station, then we're going to be on the public part of the gas station, and do that. They can't really say too much about that. Right. But it's harder. You know what? I'm gonna say it's not harder. I'm gonna say this. When I went from back in the day, I used to do music videos, and eventually I did commercials. And when on commercials, they spend a lot of money on unnecessary stuff. I'm really they spend a lot. You could probably do a couple of television series with the money they spend on commercials. And when I decided to go into start doing features, I felt like initially I needed all these bells and whistles. I needed all this stuff. And honestly, it wasn't until maybe like 2 or 3 pictures in I realized I didn't really need all those things. But you really don't know that in your mind when you come from a world where they're paying somebody to walk my dog, and you got this certain cup warmer and all these things. You think that you need that, and you really don't to tell a great story. So doing guerrilla filmmaking does have its advantages of getting scenes and stuff done without people actually, having to go through the process. And a lot of times people don't really care, as long as you don't cause disruptions. Like you said, in the hospital, you could probably shoot some really great stuff in there. The actors got to be really on it and be like, look, go in there, stand right there, say what you got to say and leave until somebody say, and whenever you someplace where you look like you're supposed to belong, people don't ask questions.
As long as you got a clipboard.
Don't you have a clipboard?
Yeah.
If you look like you belong.
Seriously. You could walk into a freaking OR.
Put on a lab coat or
with
scrubs and a clipboard.
Yeah, a lab coat, a badge turned backwards, and a clipboard, or a tray.
This is going out publicly,
Hey, people know.
The podcaster told me to do that.
They do now.
This information they already knew. Trust me.
Yeah. Now they're turning badges backwards. Yeah.
I would be curious to find out on the topic of guerrilla filmmaking. Are there very many, if any, iconic scenes in film that were actually recorded
guerrilla
that way?
you're aware of?
That's an interesting
question.
Maybe
sounds like a Aaron question.
Yeah, dig into that, Aaron.
Yeah,
we'll do a podcast on that.
That's interesting. Yeah.
All right,
let's see. I did want to talk about our Ebony Hustle and Hard Holiday set in the same universe.
Yes, you picked that up.
Shorty, the same character moved from Atlanta to,
same universe.
Is that the same guy? Or is it simply the same a similar character?
It's a similar character. The way that they're in the same universe, I don't know if you picked this up, was Miss Glenda Shaw. It's the same universe because Miss Glenda Shaw was in Ebony Hustle, and when she's talking to LaDonne and she's talking about her daughter, she's talking about what that character did to her daughter. So, in essence, it's in the same universe. Happened. Is Shorty in the same universe? Yes and no. It's the same type of character. And there's another project I'm doing that's going to probably stretch that a little bit. But there's one project about to shoot. I try to make it all in the same. I want it all to be some relation. Like if you look at, if you guys look at False Prophets, a lot of the stuff that they were looking at on TV was all movies that had already done. And so when she's looking at the TV or on her computer screen, there's an ad for Red All Over or Ebony Hustle. It's all kind of in the same universe. And so the characters all kind of cross over with each other. Yeah. That's done intentionally. That's done on purpose. Just so, one, I'm always interested when people ask that question and then they pick up on those things. And also, two, it makes sure I give the actors that I'm working with, give them roles in the stories that I'm doing that kind of connects with them. Sometimes it won't be always that way, but for the most part, yes.
The girls' names. Were they specific to something or just names?
You mean the twins?
Yeah, the twins.
For me, no. But for Cecily has this very distinct naming universe, and I would have bet that there is some reason why they're called those two names. You had to like Cecily is one of those. She's not real big on doing interviews and everything, but she's one of those writers to where every single thing has a reason, like colors and how somebody combs their hair. It's like she's very good with dialogue. She is like probably the best dialogue writer that I've worked with, and she's very insightful with things like that, to where I may be like, okay, because the names don't really make a big difference to me. Matter of fact, there's a project I'm working on now, so the names all mean something, but in the past they really didn't. She had reasons why, and then she would get mad when people wouldn't pronounce the names right, because like the reason why is because this, I didn't even know that. That's the reason why she did that. But to her,
that's my love aunt. That's my aunt I love. So you have to name her, and
you got to pronounce it a certain way. This how it's pronounced, and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
But to her, they all have meaning. They definitely
There's
have
emotion to it. All right, so
I found some famous examples of guerrilla films.
You have?
Yeah. Clerks, Blair Witch Project,
Okay.
Pie, Napoleon Dynamite, El Mariachi, and Spielberg's first movie, Duel.
Okay.
DUEL.
Well, that's a start. I think that's a good topic. So we didn't leave ourselves a lot of time if we're going to do the Elite Eight, because we're having a really good conversation. What's your take, Aaron? Should we do the Elite Eight?
What's the subject?
What about you, John?
The subject is not quite Christmas movies.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
So let's hit it hard here. I'm going to refrain so we don't have any ties. I'm going to let you guys vote. All right.
Okay.
And I'll be the game show host here. So we have Batman Returns versus Gremlins.
Gremlins.
Yeah.
Gremlins.
Okay.
I had no idea Batman Returns is any way related to Christmas.
Well, it's not. It's set during.
It was during Christmas time. Yeah.
It's kind of an incidental backdrop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Edward.
Is that the second Tim Burton Batman?
I think so.
Okay. Or is it a later Batman that?
No, it's earlier.
Yeah. That's.
So we got Edward Scissorhand, which I didn't realize until I researched this, that it was a Christmas time movie, versus Krampus.
I will go with Edward Scissorhand. Krampus is kind of like obvious.
Yeah.
I too felt that was a little too Christmas when we were putting together the list, but I allowed it because it's really about morality more than about Christmas.
Well, it was interesting because it was like a reverse Christmas story.
Yeah.
But yeah, very much steeped in Christmas lore, I guess.
And also, it replaced Eyes Wide Shut, which I vetoed.
That was Christmas? Really? That's interesting.
It was set during the Christmas season, yes.
Oh, okay.
I think they even had like a Santa theme party, but I'm not 100%. I only saw bits of it once, and I was like, yeah, I'm good. And I'm not a big fan of the star of that film.
Well, we had to be careful.
Yes.
The heck, this mouse just flakes out once in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And
Sorry, our
at
mouse
a very inopportune time here. Okay, so the next one is the big obvious one: Die Hard versus Lethal Weapon.
Die Hard.
Okay.
Die Hard.
Yeah. I guess Lethal Weapon is a Christmas movie, huh?
Yeah.
Die Hard.
Okay, so Die Hard moves on. Is that what you said, Lisa? Or
Yes, absolutely. So
Okay.
another sweep.
All
Yeah,
right.
I pretty much the round one is going to be pretty sweepy.
The final matchup of the first round is Trading Places versus Iron Man 3.
I do love Trading Places.
I would say Trading Places. Iron Man 3, I didn't get that one per
He
se.
does
but
give her a Christmas gift during that
Yeah.
film.
Yeah.
So it's set at Christmas, and I think there are Christmas decorations.
It's
I think
just
it
a big film.
Ever so subtle reference to the fact that
Right.
it's that time of the year, I guess.
I like the smaller.
That's the one with all the
friendlier
suits.
films, if
There's
you
like
will.
there's like 50 Iron Man suits coming
Yeah.
to rescue. Yeah. I
Yeah.
didn't like that one so much.
All right, so here we go. The final four: Gremlins versus Edward Scissorhand.
And I think that's a really good matchup.
That is a
Oh
good
my
match.
goodness. I'm gonna have to go with Gremlins. That's a childhood thing, so I'm gonna go with Gremlins.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Scissorhands just because I rewatched Gremlins fairly recently and it didn't hold up as well as when I was younger.
They never do.
They never do.
Sometimes I don't rewatch movies because I'm afraid they won't hold up.
So when you said that was your vote for Gremlins?
I'm kind of I'm gonna go Gremlins.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Gremlins.
I got it because I haven't rewatched it. And I have seen Edward Scissorhands at least twice, and while it does have Christmas themes and it's very sweet, the ending is so bittersweet.
All right, so we got Die Hard versus Trading Places.
It's another good matchup.
That is. Well, as the non-Christmas movie is Die Hard. That is as much as Bruce Willis keeps telling people it's not a Christmas movie.
Yeah.
I have to go with Die Hard.
Yeah.
A lot of bets, and
I'm gonna go Trading Places and leave Lisa with the tiebreaker.
Okay. I feel like I think Die Hard is like the most famously not a Christmas movie that there is. Whereas Trading Places, while it's not about Christmas, it is set during Christmases. But Die Hard is literally over the Christmas holiday, as opposed to Trading Places, which encompasses a much longer frame of time.
All right.
And simply incorporates some Christmas. So for that reason, I am going with Die Hard.
All right. All right, here we go. Our champ. This is the Super Bowl of unorthodox Christmas movies, and it is Gremlins versus Die Hard.
I'm Die Hard all the way.
Yeah, Die Hard.
Die Hard.
Yeah.
All right. I think that was the odds-on favorite, and it came through with the win.
Thank you, Bruce Willis.
Kind of expected to see Bad Santa or something in there.
Yeah, that's.
I felt Bad Santa was a little too on the nose.
We tried to avoid anything that had like Christmas stuff on the cover art or any kind of reference to.
So it had to be really undercover Christmas.
Undercover Christmas.
But I think Die Hard was going to be a strong contender under any circumstances because there's a lot of arguments.
Die Hard and Trading Places to me, I think, are the two.
Yeah.
Is that what the final was?
Gremlins were the two that were kind of because they do have more Christmas in the actual theme.
I'd recommend don't rewatch Gremlins.
I was just going to say I was going to look at it, but you said no.
No, okay, go ahead. I mean, you might say, "Oh, it's not. It's how they left so many." I don't even remember what it was.
Yeah, I haven't watched that since.
Yeah,
15,
I hadn't watched it in 20 years.
I tell you what it is with me. You got to feel like you get the feeling you were watching the Muppet Show or something. I mean, the CGI, this just special effects and stuff like that seem really kind of locked in time. But
it is stuck in time. It's definitely that.
Yeah.
Well, we kind of reached the end of the episode. The movie is Hard Holiday, and the guest has been one of our favorites, John.
Hard Holiday.
Wayne
Aaron approved.
And there'll be more coming from this prolific director, and we'll be following closely.
Jesus.
When you watch Hard Holiday, there's a scene in the credits that Tubi tried to steer me away from, so I had to explicitly click to watch the credits in the little box.
Yeah.
So
and we are
catch
going to
that
go
last
back and see
scene.
that. I'm going to see that.
Go watch the credits.
We got about 30 seconds. John, do you have any website, social media that you want to?
I'm pretty much all social medias. John Wayne S3 across everything, and hopefully one day, if I get so much famous, Aaron will do me a Wikipedia page, and then we can everybody know where I'm at.
Get you hooked up.
All right.
How much truth do you want in it?
All truth.
I will say this much: if you want non-truths, don't have Aaron do it.
Okay. All right. You guys have a great rest of your Sunday.
See you guys.
All right. Stay focused.